Good afternoon. This is the Historic Preservation Commission regular meeting, Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. We have a quorum in attendance, so I'll call this meeting to order. Mr. Secretary, would you call the roll?
Sure. Lauren Flick, present. Chris Jenkins.
Here.
Lester Lamone.
Here.
Mike Madone is absent.
No, he's online.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's on. Okay, he's present. Hello, Mike. Penny McPherson.
Here.
Rich Millard is absent, correct?
Yes.
And Millie Wentz.
Here.
Thank you. Second agenda item today is the approval of minutes. Before I entertain a motion, we're on a shortened time schedule today due to a meeting that follows this one. So I'd like to take item number 5 and the application fee discussion and table that to our next meeting. So if I could entertain a motion with number 5 tabled, I'd appreciate it, please.
I make a motion to table item number 5 until next meeting.
And approve the agenda otherwise.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the vote.
Lauren Flick, yes. Chris Jenkins.
Yes.
Lester Lamone.
Yes.
Mike Madone.
Yes.
Penny McPherson.
Yes.
Rich will abstain. And Millie Wentz.
Yes.
Thank you. Our third agenda item this afternoon is the Design Guidelines Committee report. Lauren.
The Design Guidelines Committee met at 3 o'clock today prior to this meeting and completed the final draft of the Design Guidelines document.
Close that door.
The next step in this process will be to present this to the Commission for approval at our next Commission meeting, at which point it will be forwarded on to the various departments and individuals in the city for their review and comment.
Is there any questions for Lauren today? Lauren, as always, thank you for your continued work on that committee.
Thank you.
I'd entertain a motion to accept that report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and call the roll.
Lauren Flicks, yes. Chris Jenkins.
Yes.
Lester Lamone.
Yes.
Mike Madone.
Yes.
Penny McPherson.
Yes.
Rich Millard is abstaining, not present, so Millie Wentz.
Yes.
Thank you. Our fourth agenda item this afternoon is the review committee update. Lisa.
So in this last month, we received one certificate of alteration application for 801 Main Street, which is the Christ First Community Church. This is for the repair of the roof over the office of the old Methodist church. And the committee accepted the application for a certificate of alteration. We might be getting another one regarding that, that church as well in the future due to some hail damage that they received a couple years ago. And then we also received another one that the review committee is still looking over.
Great. Any questions for Lisa? Hearing no questions, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to accept that report.
So moved.
Second?
I second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the vote.
Lauren Flick, yes. Chris Jenkins.
Yes.
Lester Lamone.
Yes.
Mike Madone.
Yes.
Penny McPherson.
Yes.
Rich Millard will abstain. He's not present. And Millie Wentz.
Yes.
Thank you. Our sixth agenda item this afternoon is public outreach committee panels. Again, Lisa.
So last year, we had budgeted for 2 panels, kiosks for downtown for highlighting historic designated properties or something of note within the historic district. I don't remember what the committee had recommended for doing those panels on, but we did receive a request from a commercial business owner downtown who would like to have a kiosk panel in front of their building. That would highlight the history of that building and that structure for anybody walking downtown to be able to read. In order to get this moving, if that's something the commission is interested in, or if it's something that the outreach committee can reconvene, since they've been on a little bit of a hiatus, to move forward with, that might be a appropriate course of action in regards to this request. But we did budget for having 2 made this year.
So that's in the 2025 budget?
Yes.
Okay. So the reconvening of the outreach committee, is that going to follow the next design review committee? Or generally, we've had them at the same time? One
Yes.
supplanted the other recently. Is that what we need to do, or do we need to reconvene a separate committee at a separate time?
Well, I think it's revamped a little bit. I don't remember who's still on the outreach committee. I believe Jim Nelson is. And I think that might, and some of the others from the design committee, I don't know if all of them were part of the initial outreach committee. We can do that, or we can meet at a different time. In
So
that
who's,
case.
do we know if Jim is he
Yeah,
technically
I
still
believe-
chairing?
That I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
That would be a ask from him, if he's still chairing that committee. But he is and has expressed an interest of still being on that committee.
Okay. I guess, back to the bench, what do we want to recommend in terms of reconvening a committee? And does it, how do we want to move forward with that? It seems like we've got a request in that needs some attention. Lauren, looks like you have an idea.
My first thought is it'd be nice to have an outreach committee meet with this property owner and
Excuse me.
discuss what they'd like to do.
Any other thoughts?
Do we need a committee to do that, or can it be an individual who meets with them and presents it to the rest of us, or?
So, Lisa, I guess, it related to that, is it a formal application or just an interest?
It's an interest. It's not a formal application.
Is there an application process?
No.
Okay.
Nope. And to be honest with you, I don't recall if the committee had even any specific properties in mind for these panels when they had suggested that and put that on the budget for this year.
My recommendation would be to have an individual meet with them and then have Lisa present us with any information that might pertain to that building, and as a board, we could make a decision at that point, unless you feel that we need a committee.
The only question I have is, I'm not sure what these panels look like, what their size and shape are, what kind of information they need to have on them, how we get them posted. I mean, there's a lot of design considerations that are going to need probably a committee's focus.
Do we already have panels that are there? Are we going to go with a different one completely than are already on Main Street?
So I would recommend, there are 2 different designs that are along Main Street. One that was done, I believe, in 2014, and then another round, I believe, in 2017. Different vendors had made them. I think the goal is to try to be consistent, and the vendor that we got the last ones made is still in existence. The first one was sort of made in-house with a city employee, and they have since retired. So I think the goal was to try to make them consistent with the newer panels.
Okay, well, knowing that, then I guess maybe Chris's recommendation sounds reasonable, that it could be since they're not necessarily design considerations, but informational requests?
I would recommend that we do that, although if we're going to continue to do this, but I think it can be decided as a board rather than as a separate committee unless we get a lot of applications.
Could
That's my thought.
Could that fall under the review committee?
It's a slightly different,
Well, I'm just talking about
committee,
its, review committee only meets when there's an application.
yes.
So it seems like at least the timing makes sense.
Okay.
That anytime there is an application or an interest, it could fall under that committee that only meets when an application presents itself. I don't know. I'm throwing it out to this body for comments too. I don't know. Chris, I know you're on the review committee. Do you want to, would this bother you if you had to deal with this too?
No, I think that'd be fine.
Any other comments on that? Penny?
My understanding was there's no application,
Yes, that's true.
so how can you review something that isn't written down?
We could ask her for a formal
A proposal?
request and proposal. If that's the way you want to proceed, yeah, we can do that. I can reach out to her and ask her for a more formal request.
And we could possibly put something in fairly basic terms if somebody wants to do it in the future. Just a simple form that would allow them to fill out and say, this is what I would like. Little background on why they think their particular structure is that way, and take it from there. I don't think it needs to be anything extravagant, but
While we have time, do you have an idea on 2014, 2017, how big those things were and where they're located relative to the face of the building?
The two that are more recent, one of them is right at the corner of, kitty corner, I should say, from the Strathmore McClure Hotel.
Yep.
And it talks about that hotel as well as the Reynolds McGee building, the bank building.
So is this like a panel behind glass that's on a slope?
No, it's not a panel behind glass. It's a kiosk or stand metal base with I'm trying to remember what material that they used for the actual panel. It's, I want to say, 12 inches high and roughly 3 feet wide. And it stands probably about, I
Counter
want to
height?
say, what, 30?
Counter height somewhere?
Yeah, counter height.
And is it bronze or something like that, or what's the
I think it's
material?
all metal.
It's all
Okay.
metal.
All right.
Yeah.
But it has
Chris,
pictures of the
Yeah, they have
historic buildings on
pictures
it
and-
in
mhm.
print
Okay.
and
text.
And I guess we should take a peek at it and see how it's weathered, to see if it holds up in the weather, because you know a lot of those don't do very well if they're sitting in direct sun over the years. So wouldn't hurt for us to look at that and see if that's the way we want to continue to. But I'll be glad to do that if you give me the information, Lisa.
All right, so, that's why I was just gonna ask for some sort of action. So you want to volunteer to make
I would be
contact with
glad
the
to.
applicant?
If she wants to at least provide me with the information on where to go look at the ones, and I can bring back pictures, and we can talk about that in our next meeting.
Okay. I don't think we need a motion for that, but since you volunteered to spearhead that for us, you're a committee of one. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that. All right, we are running out of time, so let's move on to agenda item number 7, which is the one probably that's going to have more discussion. That is the 2026 proposed budget. Lisa, you want to give us an introduction? You should have this in your packet, so everyone should have a copy of it. You want to provide us with a little introduction, Lisa?
Yes, thank you. So I'm basing this off a little bit of last year's, or I should say this year's 2025 budget, to include more training and ability to go have at least 2 people attend the CLG conference, which is, I should say, the Colorado Preservation Inc. conference, Saving Places conference that they have every year in end of January, 1st of February, including 2 people in person and 2 people online. I know last year we had budgeted more for that because it was going to be, I should say this year, it was in Colorado Springs, which was a lot closer. This one, my understanding, it's going to be back in Denver. So I'm sure they'll still do both in-person and online registration for this conference. If there's people who are interested in attending this one, my understanding is the dates are going to be February 11th through the 13th. So slightly different. I think it's another week or week or 2 different than the previous years. The other thing that I had included in here was programming and training. If we bring somebody down to do a presentation, this year we had budgeted for 4. I've knocked that down to 2. We haven't done any yet this year. And then the interpretive panels, I bumped it down from 2 to 1, since again, we have only started talking about doing one of the panels for this year. Still keeping the printed materials and banner budget pretty much the same as last year. And then the one thing I added was the membership renewal for the Colorado Preservation Inc.
Before we get started in this discussion, there's a couple of things I'd like to inform the board on. I believe this has a deadline of August 8th. So we need to finalize this proposed budget this evening, because we won't have another opportunity between now and then to accept a budget for 2026. The other thing I'd like to inform the board of, you heard that there was reductions made, that Lisa made on our behalf. We're being asked to reduce our budget this year by the city of Canyon City. So some of these reductions weren't Lisa, it wasn't her saying that we didn't spend it, so we don't need to spend it. We're being asked to reduce our budget for next year, for next fiscal year. So with that 2 things in mind, I just want to open it up for questions of Lisa or concerns anyone may have, alterations, proposed alterations to the budget that they see in front of you. So I'll open it up.
Lisa, what was the 2025 budget?
I believe it was close to 9,000 or over 9,000.
Okay, thank you.
We had, budgeted for 2 panels, which would make that, I think that was $3,000. I raised it this time around because of inflation.
The one thing that I would like to, that strikes me, I've got 2 edits, I guess, for consideration. The first one was, I'd hate to see our training, in-person or online, that a line item be reduced. So if we could pull from anything else, or if we up here think that there's money that we can spend elsewhere, I'd like to continue to have those opportunities for the board. And the second thing is the equipment. Line item number 3 is $150 that we had talked about having a pop-up tent for outdoor activities that we might have in terms of public outreach. And what we don't have currently budgeted is is a membership renewal for Colorado Preservation, and those just serendipitously happen to be the same amount. And so I wonder if the board would consider postponing the equipment in favor of the membership renewal.
I would be in favor of that. Do you need to make a motion on that?
Are you on? Okay.
I would be in favor of that. We may need a motion for that.
Well, yeah, I think if we do a quick edit on everything and then make one motion to adopt. So is anybody else?
Are they asking us to reduce it by this amount, by 4,000?
No, nothing specific, just,
Okay.
yeah.
So I don't think we need to eliminate either for $150.
Okay.
and I'll let you continue, but I had a couple of other items that I'd like to
Please go ahead.
consider. Saving places where they get on the road. The one in Pueblo, I thought was very informative, but I've always had in the back of my mind that we'd be a great host for that in the future, and that we should attend others. So they'll have another one next summer, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty far away. I have volunteered to donate the membership or the attendance fees last year, but I would like to maybe include some budget for attending that. I don't have any specifics without, knowing that we need to have this finished today, but I think that that is something that we should consider providing some funding for, at least staff. I really think staff should be attending these things because they have staff from all of the departments of different cities that attend these conferences, and there is just tremendous amount of great information that I think applies to us, and seeing it firsthand makes a huge difference. So without going into any additional information, I would like to increase that travel and accommodations budget to allow for somebody to attend the Saving Places on the Road for next summer.
Does anybody, do you have any idea what that budget amount might look like?
Not knowing where they're going to be, I have no idea.
Do you
I would
wanna-
suggest increasing that budget to $1,000 even. That's my thought, is that we could at least accommodate. I'm certain it's not closed. The time before, Pueblo was fine, I actually drove back in the evenings, but I think the one before was in Steamboat Springs, so that's not, overnight, come home evening type setup. So that would at least apply, towards some of the accommodations to get up there. And again, I think it should be applied towards staff more so than individual committee members, because what your staff learns is tremendous help for us in our operations. So that's my feeling on that. Also, I know that we had talked about recognizing a individual or company that does renovations, and I think that maybe this next year is a good time to start that. I don't know that we need a large budget outlay for that, but I would really love it if we could recognize, obviously St. Cloud is what comes to mind, but I think this most recent renovation proposal is another one that would have a huge step towards saving some of our downtown buildings, is recognizing the people that are doing that. I think we should do something in the newspaper, but also social media is something that's less expensive, but I think we should start that. But I don't know if we need to add that to the budget. Those were the two items that I wanted to bring up today.
Any other suggestions?
So these interpretive panels are the ones that we just talked about
Yes.
here?
Yeah, turn on your mic. That's the symbol for turn on your mic. Anything else? Okay, so I have recommendations for an additional $150 to be placed to pick up our annual membership renewal, an additional $280 added to the travel and accommodations line item, bringing that up to $1,000. So whatever that total is. So I would entertain a motion based on that information. A motion to adopt this proposed budget for 2026.
I just would like to add one item to that, if I could, in that you specify what travel and accommodations is going towards, and that would be the Saving Places Conference in Denver and the Saving Places on the Road Conference, and we can get that information and add that so that they'll know what we're talking about in the budget. That would be the only change I would recommend.
And Mr. Chairman, are we adding $1,000 to this for Saving Places? to this budget in front of us? Is that what you recommended? Chris?
No,
No.
what we have currently is travel and accommodations already have 720 in that. I'm recommending
just bump that
bring
up.
that up
Bump
to
it up.
1,000 even
Increase it
so that we can
$280.
Yeah.
Okay,
attend the saving places on the road as well.
gotcha.
Well, then I would entertain a motion. Somebody like to make a motion, please?
And just one more thing, we are going to delete the 150 for equipment as part of your recommendation too, Chris? No.
No.
Okay, so we're just adding $280 to this budget?
Plus, we're adding the 150 for the membership renewal.
Oh, that's not in there presently?
Correct.
Got it. So that'd be a total of $430 on top of there?
Okay.
So we're making a motion on a budget of 5,430?
Correct.
Okay.
Was that a motion?
I make a motion for a budget of 5,430 as just discussed.
I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Lauren Flick, yes. Chris Jenkins?
Yes.
Lester Limon?
Yes.
Mike Madone?
Yes.
Penny McPherson?
Yes.
Rich Millard is absent, will abstain. Millie Wentz?
Yes.
Next agenda item is announcements. You got 4 minutes to get through the last two things.
Okay. Some of you might already know this. The CLG grant that we applied for back in January and got a letter notifying that we had been awarded that grant, however, the funding was not available. Well, we've been notified that the funding is now available, and we will be moving forward with the surveying project, hopefully in August. Starting in August, we'll be receiving the paperwork to get that ball rolling. And this is for the surveying of the 20 properties that are associated with the African-American families that were living in Canyon City from 1902 to 1937. And as for upcoming travel, training opportunities, the only one that's coming up is the National Alliance of Preservation Commissions. It's a virtual short course that's offered August 20th through the 21st. And if you're interested in attending, there is a fee for that. I think it's $130, but you can get access to that and register for that via the CLG portal.
Thank you very much. Final agenda is public comments. I have a big smile from the public, so that means we're all good. All right. Our next meeting, regular scheduled meeting, is Wednesday, August 27th, 2025 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. We are adjourned.